Jacksboro Church of Christ. I want to say this right from the start. If you have a question, stop me and ask. Because don't think I'll remember the question later on, because my memory, like most of us, has got gray hair. It kind of forgets a few things. But there's lots of material in these slides, a lot of things I'll show you. But like I say, if you got a question, ask about anything, about life in Honduras, how we do things, what we do. Starting out, like Stephen was saying, getting your passport and getting ready to travel. And we have travel day. That's suitcases for 3 people right there. We take full-size suitcases. One of them has usually got our clothes in it. And then the other one we take take teaching materials and stuff for the people there in Honduras. And we run them up to the max of 49.95 pounds at the airport, since 50 pounds is the cutoff. And we weigh them 2 or 3 times before we leave Jacksboro. I've had the ticket attendants kind of look at me and said, "How'd you do that?" You know, you do it enough times, you learn what you can take out and what you can put in there and how to shuffle and everything. Here we are at the airport again. Of course, we get there about 2 in the morning to catch our flight, because you got to go through all the customs and check in, and it takes a while. Then you finally make it on the plane. And that's the big part. Once you get on the plane, you're doing good. There have been times when we didn't make it on the plane, and that's not good. In 24, we had a big group. We had our group from Jacksboro. About 2/3 or more of these people were from Naples, East Texas. And then we had a group from Florida, where my son goes to church. We had about 8 people from there. And we had a good time. Each morning we start out with a devotional. We get up, and about 7 o'clock in the morning, we go. There's an area there at the hotel where we stay by the pool. It's a game area, but we usually find enough chairs so we can all gather up to have our morning devotional. Usually one man will take one day and bring just a short thought for the day, or we reflect on the day, and we sing 3 or 4 songs, then have our prayer, then go to breakfast. This group, we had a lot of young kids. I say young kids. They were anywhere from 22 down to about 12. Beautiful singing. Even with a small group like we had last year, we had 8 of us, and singing was good. And we have different people that just come dropping in. These are some of the local people there from Honduras. Here's some of our discussion. Now, life in Honduras. You're going to see this man off and on several times. That's David Chacon. He is our, I guess, best way to say it, he's kind of our contact there in Honduras. We work through him. He works with all the churches there, looking over them. And when we have paying a preacher, we send the money to him. He's our contact. And he disperses the funds and helps oversee projects and things. It looks like right here he's got a brush or a broom. I don't know if he's getting ready to sweep out an oven to see how hot it is where they do some cooking. If you haven't ever seen to do traditional Honduran cooking or baking, it's like a big pizza oven that they make, and they build a fire in there and get it so hot. And then the only way they can tell what the temperature is when they get ready to clean out the ashes, they take a broom. If it catches fire, it's too hot. And they have to wait a little bit, and then they can brush it out again. And if it just smokes a little bit, it's just about right for cooking. kids, there's lots of kids. That'll bring a smile to your face. And daddies with kids, we always take candy with us to hand out for the kids and for the older adults. They get very creative. This is in one of the ladies' kitchens. And as you see, a cup tree. She's used a tree branch to hang her drinking cups on, keep them clean. And there's another wash day here. This right here is what they call a pila. It's where they do their washing of clothes, they wash their hands, wash their babies, yeah.
Maybe baptized in them.
We've had baptisms in them, some of the bigger ones. But that's one thing that we try to make sure we've helped a lot of church families build is a good pila, because that's very essential for them. This is kind of a traditional out in real world kitchen, basically. How many of you ladies would know how to cook on open fire without electricity? This right here, whoops. What happened? Went too far, too quick. This right here, they got your flat top on there where they do their tortillas and they can cook with a skillet right there. You got your work surface right there. Keep your firewood right there. What else would you want? I mean, I don't see her cooking or fry or pans or anything. She's got a few. There's one right there on that shelf. But this is pretty much the way a lot of the people in Honduras live. I don't say all of them do. There's people there that are a little bit more, got more funds, where they live in a traditional house. But a lot of them that we help, this is the way they start out. There's a different kitchen. Yeah, you can see the pots and pans hanging up.
Bill, is that kitchen area, is that kind of a community thing or just a central, or just
This is one family usually.
Every family has
Every family has one. Yeah, there could be several in that family that all get together. And we've helped several. What usually wears out the quickest, and I just changed it, added a picture, is the roof. Those rust out pretty quick. And we've put several roofs on the kitchens, and we've helped rebuild several of them. Yeah, here's some of the roads. Most of your out of town roads are dirt. A lot of the roads in town are dirt too. But this is going out down one of the country roads. There's another pila right there, and with the bathroom facilities back behind it. You see, it's very crude. Some of them are, and we try to help improve what we can. You'll see some slides of one that we've improved upon. This right here is just part of the countryside. One thing Honduras has a lot of is termites. And that right there is a termite nest. And probably one of the smaller ones. But anything that's wood and it's not growing, they will eat. So a lot of that, what we help with is replacing part of the wood on part of the houses, structural supports and things like that the termites have eaten. Here's two different brooms. Traditional, right there, or a Honduran traditional, and the modern broom. And you'll see both, different houses. They sweep the dirt floors to kind of minimize the trash and make things a little nicer. There's another outhouse, a little different from that other one. But basically what it is, you got your basic commode right there, and it runs out to a septic tank right behind it, or a hole in the ground. Oh, it depends. They have a rainy season. This is up in the jungles, and I don't know exactly the amount they get. We try to dodge the rainy season.
I guess 50 inches a year, wouldn't you?
Probably, with all the tropical plants and everything they have. This right here is plantains. It's a type of banana that they eat. Just to eat one raw, they're not good. They're really, I can say, kind of gritty and bitter. But if you take one and slice it up and put it in a frying pan and cook it, they're excellent. You have them; they serve them nearly every morning for breakfast, and you get to enjoy them. I really like them. There's another where somebody been sweeping in the lady's garden, or she keeps some plants. Some of the traveling in town. This is our mode of transportation. Got a small pickup with anywhere from 5 to 12 people in the back of it, depending on where we're going and what we're doing. No seat belts. This is third world country. You'll see this all the time. The lady right here, she lives over there. She's originally from down around A&M, her and her husband. But they have been there for several years, and she speaks very fluent Spanish and has helped us out tremendously for driving and things. Here we are, another in the back of the truck. I say it's just a good way to get around. Oh, right here, you can't hardly see it, but that's a box of clothes that we had shipped over. This box is about a 4 by 3 by 4 foot deep box. And we've got one place in Dallas where we can take stuff to ship out, because we know how to get it delivered in Honduras or Catacamas, where we work out of, because there's no street addresses. There's no street signs. They're getting better at it, but that box probably weighed 250, 300 pounds when we got through packing it before we shipped it out. And I had got a lady at the packing place told me how to pack them in there. And we take the clothes up in sacks, and I back up to their front door, and we spend a couple of hours packing these boxes. And you use up every space you can in there, because it costs about $250 a box to ship them over there. 6 weeks for them to get there, but they really appreciate the clothes that we do see in. And you'll see thing. Yeah, that's a guy on a motorcycle with plastic jugs. Roads aren't the best in the world. This is kind of a typical back in the country type Honduran road. They're getting better. The last couple of years, I've noticed that they're starting to do some road improvement. Cattle, they have a lot of cattle out in the country. Here's our convoy going out back country to one of the churches up there. And here we are getting there. I don't remember, this one was one that we went to that you started out on a dirt road, kind of like this. Then it got down to look like 2 cow trails side by side. Then it got down to 1 cow trail. And then when that run out, you was there. They're crossing the creeks. And you'll see something like this going down the highway. It's 2 ox or two oxen pulling just a cart made out of whatever. The country itself is very beautiful out in the country. I really enjoy it. There's part of our college kids or high schools getting ready to head out that morning. This picture doesn't do justice to how steep these roads are. We get these little pickups. They're four-wheel drive, and most of the time when you're out going up and down these mountains, you're in first, second gear, four-wheel drive, going up and coming down. And sometimes you wish they had a little extra gear lower sometimes because they get kind of steep. And this young lady we just gotten all the way up the mountain, and she had a wet wipe and wiped her face off. That's what dirt came off her face.
What's the temperature over there?
See, last time we was there, it ran about 72 to 78, 75. And that's night, day. It varies a little bit, not much. About 75 to 90.
But that also depends on the time of year.
Yeah, it depends on when you go. It's not like that all the time.
We were there in January, so, it was a good time to visit.
Nice weather.
Yeah.
Summertime is.
Yeah, summertime is brutal. Yeah, this young lady right here, that's what came off her face. I'm sure she appreciates me telling her that. But these kids, they were great. They did a lot of teaching, interacting with the Honduran kids. And they run the cows up and down the road from one pasture to the next. And the cows have got the right of way. Here we are at one of the churches. Or actually, the church is usually the towns around the church. Back up in these mountains. It's going through the country right there. Trying to get down to get out of the dust.
They were probably in the last truck.
Probably. And here we are in the truck with the big closed box in the back. And you can't tell it, but those white sacks right there, those are food sacks that we made up. There'll be some more of those up here. We put together bags of food for these people that we take out. We take to them. The bag weighs about 25 pounds, thereabouts. It's got enough food in it for basic needs. Now, they have to put stuff in with it, like whatever they have, but it'll last them 2 to 3 weeks probably. And it's got beans, it's got rice in it, lard, spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, bouillon, flour, sugar, salt, basic stuff.
Buy that at their market, put it together for them.
Yeah, we'll buy it in bulk, and we can get it cheaper that way, and then we put the bags together ourselves most of the time. Sometimes the place where we buy it in bulk will do it for us if they can or if we want them to, but it probably costs us a little extra to do that. And this is a good thing for the young folks to do and the old folks to kind of use your abilities to help someone else. It takes, last night we was putting food bags together. We was there till 10, 11 o'clock there at David's. And we put together probably 150 or 200 food bags.
There's about a dozen of us doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, like the assembly line.
We distributed 310 altogether, I think.
Yeah.
But you never work without the different people. So you know, if you go, it's not all work because while we were putting bags together, Suyapa was putting a meal together. So,
Yeah, she kept us. Suyapa is David Chacon's wife, and she is very well known in the state of Honduras for her cooking. She has cooked for governors and things like that at different times, done meals for them. she won't let you go hungry. Here's food bags that we put together and we dropped off here at one church. Sometimes it's easier to drop them off at a church and let the people come to the church to get them than it is to try to take them to each individual house, because the house may be 2 or 3 miles away and off the main road. But we have done it before.
Where do you get the food from?
We buy it from a local distributor there, or a grocery store, basically, in Honduras, yes.
Kind of like the Sam's, you buy it in bulk.
Yeah, we buy it in bulk, by the pallet.
What we figure we distributed 4 tons of food this last time?
It was
8,000 pounds.
It was probably close to it, yeah.
That's a lot of food.
Yeah, he had the pallets, well, they brought them in, and I know they had to bring them in with a truck out in front of the house, bring a pallet in and set it down, then bring the bags or boxes of each thing and put it back on a pallet, because his house isn't very wide to get down through there. And but so there's a lot of effort goes into this.
And we do all this on their patio, just sitting.
Yeah, he's got an enclosed patio. It's covered, and that's where we work out of a lot of times. Here we are at another church where we took several bags.
I will say every morning, as we're getting ready to go out and deliver these food bags and things, before we ever leave, several Honduran people, members of the church, they all show up at David's house. I can't say his name, but they all show up at his house, and all of a sudden it's like busy bees. Everybody's working, but they all show up. It's very interesting.
Yeah, here we are. There's our box clothes that we were handing out clothes. There's some more food bags that were given out.
Where do you get your clothes from? Members don't.
Here lately, it's been members donating that we get. We'll start telling people to bring them to us, or tell us we'll come get them. And we store them there at church until we got enough to ship out. And then this last time I had the back end of my pickup filled up, plus the behind the front seat, that second seat was full. And so we had probably close to 450 pounds of clothes.
Sarah Beth Ratchet, which some of y'all probably know Sarah Beth, she made aprons for the ladies, and that was a hot item. They all wanted their aprons. All the ladies wanted one of those aprons, and we passed them out. How many did she make? 100? She made 100 aprons.
She's done that several years ago.
And then she does it all during the year, and she just quietly does it. And then she gives them to LaRonda to send down there, and she made little dresses for the girls, for the little girls. And I don't know how many dresses, but a lot of dresses. They were all handmade.
Yeah, here's David up there, and I believe that right there was the preacher there at the church. He's helping get they go through the clothes after we send them, and they sort them out for age groups, like 0 to 3 months, and the toddler stuff, and then they go into the bigger kids' clothes. So if a parent's got 2 kids, she get 2 packets of clothes. And the one thing that we've noticed, if they get something that they can't use, they will trade with one of their neighbors. They will swap or give it to them. So nothing is really gone to waste. We see very few clothes or anything like that that's wasted.
When you see clothes that you don't.
Yeah, you'll see clothes. This church right here, this is our host church that we sponsor from Jacksboro. It's there at La Sosa. And I'm going to guess 250 people right there at that one. This isn't the last time we went when we had the 300. But it's a pretty good sized church. and the town's not that big. It's a small town. Now, men's classes, when we get there, the ladies will usually break off, have ladies' class. We have men's classes, and they have children's classes. The men's classes the last couple of years have really taken off and done good. There's several right here at this one. There's another one from one of the...
When I first started going, the men didn't participate very much. There was only a couple. And it's wrong.
Yeah, the men have really stepped up and gotten involved with church here lately. That was a pretty good sized class right there.
So what was their basic religion in that area?
Let's see.
I say Catholicism.
Yeah, Catholic, Lutheran, and it seemed like there's something else that was, and Pentecostal.
So
Is
were the men like pretty rooted in those religions and you're trying to convert them, or?
a lot of them never been around religion. Ones that are pretty rooted, it's hard to get them out. It's kind of like trying to get a mesquite tree out of the pasture. It's nearly impossible to get it completely gone.
You don't target those.
Yeah, we're going after the people who know nothing, and there's thousands of those.
Yeah,
like
that time we did that Bible study, you remember Adam and Eve? This couple. Who's Adam?
Yeah,
Who doesn't know about Adam and Eve? So, you're talking about starting from scratch.
and ladies' classes, they're always big, but the ladies are very attentive. A lot of times, I'll help with babies. They even hold them. Just try to give the mama time where she can hear what's going on and participate. Sometimes babies don't like bingos. Not at all.
Are they pretty fluent with English, or do y'all have to translate, or how does that work?
They don't work sometimes. No, the main language is Spanish and very few English.
So y'all don't necessarily share the words so much, it's just there to support them and help the congregation?
We do share the word. We have interpreters that go with us. Yeah.
In the past, they've had kids from a local school there, private school that, like, once we split out, they probably had 5 or 6 different translators. We did the lessons and they translated for us.
Yeah, these are all different churches. This church, huh? Yeah, you can see the ladies with their aprons on right here. This church right here, nope, that's not the one I wanted. That slab was the original slab that we poured. I was telling you it was about a 20 by 40. And we gathered the gravel for it from a river back behind the church years ago. And as they got ready to do things, they expanded the building, which I'm glad they did. It's about a 40 by 60 now. It's made out of concrete blocks with a metal roof on it. And we had the kids on this trip, they went in and dug that out, and they poured the rest of the concrete, mixed it by hand, and poured it, and had people there supervising them and helping them. There's another group of ladies, got their aprons they got. They're very proud of their aprons. They really like those. This lady, you see there on her arm, she's got a couple of bracelets. One of them, LaRonda had given out a couple of years before, or the year 10 years before, and she's been wearing it ever since. Then she got a new one, and she was very proud of that. We give out glasses. We'll take just generic reading glasses you buy like at Walmart, and because that's a big need over there. They don't have a optometrist on the corner they can run to get glasses. Children's classes. How many of you would like to teach a class of 50 kids from toddler to 5 years old with one helper? In a different language. These kids are very well mannered. I have seen that one scenario before, and the kids sit there and they listen. Of course, they're working through an interpreter. They participate in the coloring or whatever craft they have, and they're very courteous. Now, you'll get some that are the ringtail tutors that we all have, but for the most part, they do. They sit there and participate, and they enjoy it. It's something different for them.
That's actually a school one.
Which one? That last one?
The one on the right.
This one?
That's no, up above it.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes the schools let us in.
There's some of our college kids doing the lesson, and the interpreter's up there with them. That's the interpreter. And some of these people that we get that help us, they've got a story that's it's really neat just to listen to them and find out. He was back in Honduras. He'd been over here in the States, and I believe he had to go back for his visa, but get his time back so he could go back. So he was helping us, those 2 weeks. He's great help. Kids having fun with the parachute.
Can I say something else?
Yes.
I had somebody say, well, they look like they're all dressed nice and, they don't look like they need clothes. But what those kids have on is probably their very dress, and it's been hanging in the closet, and they don't wear it unless they're going to a wedding or they're going to church or something like that. They wear their best.
They get real excited when the Americans come, so that's like a big deal, But
Yeah. How much time do I have? 5 minutes? Okay. Some of the work projects, anything, like I say, I think we did one project where we got a lady a wheelchair. Here's one of the ladies, kind of the kitchen area, bathroom, all kind of right together. You can see it's not very sanitary, and that has since been redone. That hole right there is the new septic tank that they were digging.
You got to tell them about Sister Julia.
You're going to have to tell her about Sister.
When we were there, she was wanting to be baptized, but she had a cord, and she said cancer. And we couldn't figure out a good way to cover it. In a Pila, you don't have real pure water. And so we didn't get it done, but the group that went right after us from Naples, they got her baptized last month. And so we were excited about that.
This is part of the same bathroom. See, they got the place for the commode, and then the septic tank's going to be right there, which that's what this is. And it was done kind of different. They dug a hole and then dug straight down about another 8 foot and put truck tires in it to keep it supported so it doesn't collapse. Which that was pretty kind of a good invention, I thought. A good use of old tires. And they had a small problem is they couldn't find the tires. They run out of one size and they couldn't find them because people there, they run truck tires till there's nothing left of them.
too, that if you're even considering going, I was worried about the bathroom situation, but I never had to use an outhouse while I was there. We always had most of those.
Church has always had flushing toilets.
Flushing toilets.
They weren't like that
Shop-
time I went
shop,
before, but
Yeah,
they've all modernized.
Yeah.
so it was very nice. There's no, you don't have to go in the outhouse.
Yeah, here's the kids in there working on that church floor there at Gualakemi, where they had to dig it out and pour cement.
And they've been working on that one church for
20 years.
about 25 years.
Yeah. Some of these works don't happen overnight. They're ongoing projects that take time.
Because they don't have the money.
They don't have the money. In fact, this last time we went down there, they had added a classroom onto the back, and it was real nice. They did a good job. There's kids bringing the dirt up from the creek.
How much time do you spend in each town and church?
It depends on what we got to do there, or what we're going to try to accomplish. This last time we visited 10 different churches, which there was 14 different congregations came to us. Some of them we may get to go to 2 churches and spend all day, depending on how far they are away from the hotel where we got to drive from. That one that we had never been to before, that we've been supporting for several years, it took us 2.5 hours, I believe it was, wasn't it, Brian? In low range 4-wheel drive on them dirt roads, going back up into the hills to get back to the church. And like I say, it was the first time I've been there in all that time. Then you got 2-hour drive back after you get through there. And we spent probably an hour and a half there giving out clothes and food bags. We have medical bags, which is Tylenol, stuff like that put together for the ladies or for somebody there that can dispense it out to other people as they need it. There's 2 of our good high school kids. They were dirty and they were proud of it. They'd been working hard. This lady here, you can tell she's very well off, got a very nice place, but she opened it up to she's one of the Christians there. They had a nice place to cook outside and for us to all gather around and sit in the shade. Then there was other families. That's a different spot right there. And there's Siapa right there, and this is the lady that owns the house. This was at a different place. In worship, David, like I say, John said earlier that David, at each place we went, he said a different sermon. It depended on what the needs were of the congregation. Sometimes it was a very uplifting sermon. Sometimes he got onto them pretty hard about things they should have been doing. But there's lots that go on. There's lots here. And I talk a lot too. But we enjoy it.
The singing is wonderful. They sing loud, and everybody sings, and it's really moving.
No harmony. They all sing the main melody.
Yeah. One thing I will tell you, if you're sitting in their church and they start a song, you'll recognize the song by the music, but you cannot think of the words. I don't know what it is about it, but there were several times we'll be sitting there and they'll start a song. I know that song, but what is it? What are the words to that song? You can hear the Spanish words.
Like when the roll is called up yonder.
Yeah.
They'll do it in Spanish, and you can't remember the words in English while they're singing.
But there was a lot of fellowship went on. And there's a story about this young lady right here. Had more time, or maybe John may know about it, but there's stories about all these people. I could be up here all day doing this. And words, believe it or not. Well,
That's changed over.
that has changed over the years.
Brian, do you remember that Sunday we had like 300 people there for Sosa, but they had a deal up there that said the contribution for the week before,
It was like 2,600 of their currency,
which was less than,
which was less than $100.
yeah,
The exchange rate was like 27 to 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so they came and brought and gave everything they had, and they probably had a pretty large attendance, but they raised almost $100. It's quite different.
You can see everybody got tired at the end of the day. We all fell asleep. Even I was accused of sleeping in the front seat. And there's a lot more I could get into, but I'm running over time now, and I know Steve's got things going on. So thank y'all for your attention. If you have any more questions, just grab us by the arm, and we'll be glad to we'll tell you the best we can. Thank you.